Shrek, yo, what's your favorite cuisine? I eat frogs and bugs and dung beetle pie. Sometimes I eat my snot and I don't know why.
Breaking news tonight, we have Bible Nation taking over an Olive Garden. Apparently it caught fire and a lot were injured. We have John over there on the story right now. John?
It's hectic out here. You can't believe it. It's Christmas trees are gonna fall even though it's after Christmas time. The Bible Nation's taking over.
Dog, you're really gonna drop the Christmas tree.
It's also attached to all the twinklies. Wow, we only lost one person in the whole entire Bibble died. Well, that's good because they were the one attacking the Olive Garden.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. Welcome back or welcome if you are new here. I'm Christina. This is my brother Spencer. We made this podcast to just show that communication is key in all aspects of life. If you have anything that you hear us talk about that you want to hear more on, or something that we don't talk about that you would like to hear our opinions on, you can always let us know on our socials, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can let us know in the comments below. And we're on Spotify, so if you're driving to work or you're taking little Timmy out for a walk, you can just listen to us, speak into your ear.
Yes, little Timmy would love to hear all of the things that are being said on here, as long as little Timmy is age appropriate, as some of them are they have some age things, but it's very little. We're not type of individuals to just throw F-bombs everywhere, so yeah, it's pretty family friendly, so yeah, you can check us out on all the socials, and yeah.
It'll be linked for you guys, so yeah.
Check them out, yeah, because you have your own little space that you do your stuff in. And I haven't really created my space where I do stuff in because
Bible Nation
attacked.
Let's get into it though. Obviously we have Bibble here today.
Was he not a part of the last one?
No.
Oh.
This is his first podcast, except for his picture on the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's making an appearance. He decided he wanted to we talk about him so much. He wanted to show up and represent.
Yeah, represent. You think Bibble was a part of a gang back in the day?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Now, what was he rolling? Was he the leader, one of the side posse men?
I think he was one of the side people, but then he got mad at the leader because the leader wouldn't listen, and he was like, I'm starting my own thing. And then he became the star on Barbie in Fairytopia. And everybody was like, Bibble!
You said he had risen back up recently.
Yeah, because of that meme. Him and the fire meme.
Yeah. Like, how do you think that had arisen? Like, where did you see it from?
From the meme.
Yeah, but like, where?
I don't know, like on the internet somewhere.
You sound like you're like 45. I've never used it. What's this YouTube that you speak of?
I think that meme's been around for a while though, but I have seen it like resurface on like TikTok. Like people talk about Bibble.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering where he came from. Because if he's going to pop back up with that meme, it's like, where did it originate? You know, did it get very popular? Like iFunny back in the day? I don't think it was if you said it was recent.
Probably not.
I wonder how big iFunny is.
Is iFunny even still a thing anymore?
Yeah, like you could probably like type it in, and I'm sure iFunny will still.
I mean, Vine's not a thing anymore.
Why am I gonna do that? iFunny, yeah, it has its own thing. So when I was in middle school, well, technically high school, because I didn't have a phone until then, I would use iFunny for memes. Yeah, it's still pretty much there with what they got. And okay, by the way, I'm not signed into this. This is the first meme that shows on here. Is it true that girls don't mind having their face touched if you're being gentle? This is Patch Bros. I got a restraining order. Damn, why is it starting out with that? What?
He said starting off with a bang.
Yeah, that's it.
I've never used...
There's no... By the way, there's nothing that says anything about this picture.
I've never used iFunny.
Yeah, I've used...
My dad's cheap.
No lowballers. I know what I have. I've seen these before. Where it'll be a friend of mine, Dodge Lamb 2500, and it's just a picture of a lamb.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Where is the original memes from? Like, did it start off on like MySpace, Facebook? Like,
Why would I know? I never had a MySpace.
that's not according to sources. They go on there, like anybody searches your name, they're like, yeah, I see the profile. It's just a bunch of random created profiles, like somebody trying to imitate you. They're like, yeah, I got fashion. It's just a bunch of your podcast pictures all in an album.
Oh my god, that would be creepy because that would have had to have been recent.
No, that can happen. I mean, at any point in time, they can make something toward you. I mean, they'll probably make a meme out of like either one of us or both of us or Bibble at some point in time.
Yeah.
So,
But
I just
being
think
a
about
meme
that.
is good. It gives you like people are talking about you. Even
Well, it
if
depends
they're
how you
laughing.
depict it. Like, because if you're having a bad day, first thing that pops up is like, somebody commented on the meme, like, you look like a horse. And it's like, damn, all right, like they coming in fucking swinging. But if you're not prepared for that on a day like that, it might be a little bit more difficult to take that in.
Cry one day, laugh the next.
Yeah, cry now, laugh later.
Oh, it does sound like the candy an hour later.
Oh, it does. That actually is an album name, though. Could you guess the artist?
No.
Okay, it's not your genre. It's rap. It's Drake.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's the album name. I know for sure that's a song name, but I'm pretty sure that's the album name too.
I'm not
a Drake fan either.
I don't want to say I'm not a Drake fan. I like of the songs I've heard, like it sounds good. I just like have never spent like time like listening to his music.
What about your current ones? What is like your go-to one that you've been going to recently?
Well, JP Sachs. I have a meet and greet to meet him in February, which I'm
Oh, really?
excited about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you talked about getting that
Yeah.
set up.
So he just like released an album recently, and it was really good. I also recently discovered Macy Peters, who was signed by Ed Sheeran. Actually, she's really good. She's like UK based, but
That makes sense with the signing with him.
yeah,
Has he signed a lot of people?
she's the only one that I've heard of. I know there's some artists that have like recently done that just because they know how record labels are. Like there's this songwriter, and he's released some of his own stuff. His name's called John Bellion. He's written for like major stars like Justin Bieber, Tori Kelly, Ariana Grande. Like he's written a lot of songs. But he recently signed actually the band that opened for the Jonas Brothers on their recent tour, which I think they're actually still on. But the band name is Lawrence. It's like a brother and sister duo. And they have like a band with them as well. But they're really good. But yeah, he signed them. But I feel like a lot of artists are doing that nowadays. Like instead of signing to a major label, they're just signing with like an artist. Because that artist has already like been through labels, and they know like how bad it can get and like how the labels can use you, or like in Taylor Swift's case where they bought her music or sold it without her permission. But luckily she's able to re-record, so.
Yeah, you were talking about this earlier during dinner with Bieber, with what he's doing with his music.
Well, he sold his music catalog. My only
What
assumption...
does that entail? Like,
So he does not own his music. So, like, obviously he's still going to make money off of it. 'Cause, like, he's, written on it. Like, it's his vocals and whatnot. But, like, as far as... I would assume, like, I guess use of his music. Like, I would assume is not entitled to it. I don't know the whole, like, exactly what he can and can't do by not owning his music. But... the people that own his music probably like make money off of his music, probably more than he does now,
interesting.
is what I would assume. Like I don't know everything it entails, but
We could probably pull that one up. I'm interested to just know because a lot of record labels in places definitely will just take that. Like it's very few artists that actually had ownership of their music, and the higher corporate individuals do not like that. If you were to talk about Michael Jackson, he is one of the few individuals who did own his music, and he was a large threat to people. I mean, that case that he had with the kids thing, that's probably the most known thing about him.
Yeah.
Even though if you actually take a look into it, he didn't do that. Like I had asked our brother about this and told him the story behind it, but Michael Jackson was not any of those things. Now, yes, I believe he did have a child that had lived with him during that time, which, yes, that is weird as shit. Why would you be living with like a 13-year-old? But it wasn't in the form where it had led to something further than that. But of course, that's an easy story to make if you're gonna have a child that is not yours living with you. But he wasn't somebody who was going down that route of stuff. Or ways you take something that was like released recently, which a friend told me this, the Epstein Island logs were released. And there was a lot that was uncovered there. Stephen Hawking went.
There's a lot of celebrities that, like, it was uncovered that they've been to his island. There was even, I want to say it was like an Oscars award show or something like that. But one of the hosts was like, I guess made a joke about all these celebrities, like, being a part of his island or whatever. And you could just see, like, all the celebrities, like, uncomfortable faces. And it's just like, oh, how many people have actually been there, though?
Yeah. I don't know what the call log list is. What's the first thing we're looking up? The Justin Bieber thing, right?
What does it mean to not own your music? Or for a record label to own your music, I guess. Because I think Katy Perry also recently sold her music catalog as well. My only assumption would be that, I guess maybe they need the money for it?
Yeah. So first thing that comes up is interesting because it's Quora. The question is, why do some musicians and singers not own their music? This means that the record label owns the master recordings of the music, and the artist may have limited control over how their music is used and distributed. Which, that makes sense. I feel like most record labels already do that, though. So does that mean that Bieber already owned his music originally? But he signed with a label.
It depends on the contract. I heard recently, because with Taylor Swift, because of her contract, she was allowed to re-record after like a certain amount of time of her albums being released. I don't remember exactly how long, but like after the album release, if it was like a certain amount of time, she was allowed to re-record. So she did that. But there's this thing where a lot of record labels, since that happened, because she's making like a lot of money off her re-records. There's a lot of record labels that are now changing their contracts, which state that you cannot re-record your music. So that way that doesn't happen anymore. But then they also don't own rights to their music. So it's like, I don't know.
It's always like a law and sketchy area. Like having lawyers and people who know this stuff becomes very important to them because they'll try to find these loopholes. And it's good because the artist should have an attack back on that, because you're already going to get a lot from the record label dealers, because it's like your corrupt monopoly man. He like wants to move and he's like, let me take Times Square from you. Don't pass go. And it's just not going to work out over time for the record label unless they're able to pull in enough money for themselves to go on their yacht trips or their jet ski type of stuff. And that's what it is. They just want to enjoy stuff without having to do as much work. And that's what they get away with. They have to put themselves in that position. And once they have it, they're like, yeah, I'm going to sit comfortably here. I just don't see how that's fulfilling though.
I know it's a money game. I know that's why they do it, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, why do you need to own the masters to a song that, one, you had no part of? You didn't write, you didn't produce, you didn't record, you didn't nothing. Like, why do you need to own that?
Well, maybe not the original ones, but like if you got with the record label dealer and started making music, yeah. I'm sure when they first start, it's not like that, but those other ones that accumulate over time, I think that they would be a part of that because it's their studio and their stuff that they've implemented.
But that's just a record label. That's different from studios that they record in. They can record in any studio they want. They can work with any producer, any writer that they want. It's just before the album gets released, the record label has to approve it before it goes out. If they don't approve it, then you can't release it under their record label. You'd have to release it independently.
Why do you think it's important for them to go to like a record label? Like, what's the purpose?
For publicity. That's what they can give them. Yeah. Because I mean, on their own, depending on like how big you are, like if Taylor Swift went independent, she'd be totally fine. But for artists that are just starting out, obviously nobody knows who they are, so you need a record label to help boost your like fan base.
But do you need it?
I mean, there are artists that I'm sure have done it independently that, you know, have made it, but it's not easy. And, you know, everybody always looks for an easy way out, or, you know, they feel like they can trust the record label. I mean, I feel like kind of coming up recently, a lot of people are kind of straying away from record labels, but like back then, like, it was like, yeah, you sign with a record label.
Yeah, it became a custom.
Yeah.
I think of that when it comes to the college thing too, where they're like, follow in line, go to college, and then get a job afterwards. I think those two things aligned at a similar time. Because I think back to Queen when they were part of record labels, and that's like 80s, 90s. That's when a part of that movement started, where both record labels would do that for easy amount of work. Same with college individuals. Like if you own, let's say, Harvard College, you're not doing anything because you don't need to. You have all your other little people doing that type of stuff, and you just work up the hierarchy over time. I think the thing that pays is ultimately the person who's able to talk.
I mean, isn't that like every CEO of a company though? Like the higher up you get, like the less you're technically doing because you're delegating it down to everybody else.
It's still a fair responsibility depending on like what they're doing, because each like CEO is going to operate differently. I think when you go from the next generation, like you have your first CEO that like created the company, did great. If that second person doesn't have a similar vision and can expand off of it, it can tear a company apart. I mean, you've seen a lot that can't adapt, like Blockbuster. They could not adapt into the new realm, although they could have. Kind of like how Coca-Cola has been a long-running company over a period of time. Lots of advertising. To me, it's not that good. Coke is not that good. But it's about their marketing. It's about who they know. It's about how they're able to talk, because people will remember it. It's nostalgic, and people stick to nostalgic things because it's simpler to be like, oh yeah, you remember this? And South Park has a whole episode on this. It's the member berries, where it just reminds them back to different times, and people are just chilling, relaxing, but all the stuff's falling apart around them because they're not taking action on making a future. They're just like, yeah, I remember when the G.I. Joes were cool.
I feel like it's different to compare like Blockbuster and Coke though, because Coke is a drink. I feel like it's a little bit harder for like a food chain or like a drink chain for them to go down as hard as Blockbuster. Because, I mean, we have streaming, and if Blockbuster didn't adapt to the streaming, which they didn't, obviously, like, they're just not going to exist anymore. I mean, I feel like kind of almost the same thing is happening with cable, because you have streaming now. You know, I'm not going to wait, you know, every Friday at 6 p.m. every week to watch a show when I can just stream the whole season on, like, Netflix or Hulu or whatever.
Yeah, you're not going to wait. It's about it being immediate.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a problem, though, because that's like instant gratification. If you're always just able to do that, I think you can get stuck in the loop of that. It's good. It could be a useful tool because, you know, wanting to watch a show or a movie, it's great that you can just stream it, but it kind of can defeat the purpose if, like, let's say you had a family gathering type of deal, and it's like, oh, Charlotte Brown's coming on at 8 o'clock. Or like us, how we watch Big Brother. That is something where it's like, okay, it's oriented to that. But I guess you can do that at any time. You can still do the same
thing with streaming.
And that's where it did a great adaptability. And if we want to talk about foods that had happened, I mean, there's a lot of foods that we haven't even heard of because they end up going under. One of them that's likely to is Arby's.
I don't know. Who still eats at Arby's? I don't know.
You're going to have half the viewership like, we are the meats.
I don't even know where an Arby's is.
There's one that's by the Central Market.
Of course you would know where it's at.
Yeah.
Because you're an Arby's lover.
Dude, also, if you're going to go to Arby's, if you buy their Wagyu beef, you throw it back in their face. Fake. It's terrible.
What is this, an episode of Kitchen Nightmares?
Yeah, I walked in there was rats.
There's an episode where he goes to this restaurant and this Australian couple owns this restaurant, and he was like, they're making awful food there, as they mostly do on Kitchen Nightmares, and he asked the chef, because the chef was like, well, these aren't my recipes. And he was like, well, then make me a burger. So then the owner was like, well, I'm gonna make him a burger too. And he presented it to him and he was like, it's Wagyu beef. And it was so nasty. It was so nasty, and he liked the other guy's burger better, but that just reminded me of that. I was like, Wagyu beef.
Yeah, because, okay, crazy thing. They sell this Wagyu ribeye steak. Guess how much a pound?
I don't know how much regular steak is a pound.
So let's say ribeyes, we're talking, let's just talk prime. It ranges, but we'll say, I mean, there's grass-fed too, like $15 to $25 a pound.
So I'm assuming like 30 or 40. More?
Way higher.
100.
Higher.
500.
In between that.
300.
250. That is
$250.
$250 a pound.
What even is Wagyu beef? What makes it so special?
That's very good. So there's multiple areas where you can get Wagyu beef. It's typically like your Asian regions, but it's what they do is they take the moo and they massage it while it's like, you know, living, and they like think of it like you're getting a massage every day, and it's, you know, it's kind of comfortable, and you're like, nice. It makes the meat tender, and it makes it better, is what they've seen. Now, it depends on where you get the Wagyu, because everybody has their own processes of how they do it, and where the cows stay too. Some are at some high-end resorts, like they're talking to each other like moo 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 moo, and then they go down the slide, and they're like moo, and it's a whole thing. I have that on video if y'all need it. It's actually just me dressed up as a cow.
Just going down the slide.
But it's about how they massage and like tenderize it, because it makes it better meat that way. Is it overpriced? I would say so. I mean, $250 is insane.
Just to massage a cow? Let me do it myself.
They have it in Australia too, as like Asian regions, but Australia has them as well. I mean, if you want to massage a cow, we can bring one in the apartment.
We bring a little like calf in, and like we just raise it.
And it just smells like shit all the time.
No, we give him baths.
He's still gonna go to the bathroom. What?
No, we give him a doggy pad.
You think he's gonna actually go to the bathroom there?
Yeah, I'm gonna train him. Like how to train your dragon, but how to train your cow.
How to train your cow. I want him to fly.
How to train your moo-moo.
And then you like are reading him bedtime stories, and it's like, the cow jumped over. We'll come back to that one.
I don't want you getting too many bright ideas there.
Yeah. It starts jumping over trees, and it's like, you're getting rambunctious, and it's a teenager, and the cow starts getting zits.
Did you see recently, I saw this video, this guy was like getting sentenced. I don't know exactly what it was for, but I guess he has like multiple like different offenses. And he was saying, like, telling the judge, like, you know, please give me a second chance, like, I'm becoming a better person, you know, yada yada. And the judge had made like a smart remark, like, no, I'm not gonna do that, like, you need to like learn your lesson. Something like a really smart remark. He got really mad about this. You know, so like obviously you have the table where like the people like sit when they're talking to the judges, and then you have the judges table, which you know sits up really high.
Yes.
This man jumped over the judges table to tackle her because he was mad that he was getting sentenced, and she was like, no, guilty.
Yeah, at that point, it could have been anything different. But I guess it was his way to take an opportunity. He's like, I'm going to kill somebody if you're just going to put me in prison.
I mean,
how long was he going for?
Well, so here's the thing is, right, he had to make it over the table that was in front of him, because it doesn't show that. It cuts to just the judge, so all you can see is him jumping over the judge's table. But he had to make it over that table and over the judge's table. And he made it all the way over there before a security guard ever tackled him.
Which is crazy, because like if you look on Judge Judy, they stand pretty close to it. Now Judge Judy's like a civil court. You shouldn't have any of that.
But there's always like somebody there. The first person that went to help her was like her, and then, you know, there's people on the side of her that are like on their computer, you know what I mean? That guy, like, he jumped over. That guy immediately like jumped and went to help her. And then you see like 30 seconds later, the security guards finally show up.
Oh, they weren't even there?
No, like they were in the room. They just took their sweet time to go and grab him.
Dang. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Especially for the security guards. Fire every single one of them.
Like that man made it over 2 tables. And
Like the first table, you should have already been to action on that.
Like you should have been like, whoa, what is he doing? They were like,
No, it's not. Whoa, you immediately react. If he's going, okay, I think of this. Let's say you were actually in prison in this scenario, and somebody was given a shiv through the toilet. So they take the shiv and they're about to come after you. There are security guards that are around, especially if you're in a like maximized security prison. They're gonna be there in like seconds because you have to have that reactionary time. That is literally your job, is to make sure that it is secure if something gets out of hand. Not somebody who's typing on the computer to be like, yeah, this is gonna be all the stuff that we're labeling for the files and stuff. They should not be the person that's doing all that. They're busy. They need to be typing, and he jumps over the table.
he's just typing everything that happens. Yeah, no, I don't understand how they didn't react faster. Like he shouldn't have been like made it to the judge's table at all.
That's insane.
But yeah, I saw that recently, and I was like, ooh, that man's gonna get sentenced longer than he originally was going to.
Which I'm wondering how long that was, because I mean, if you have a few offenses, I would assume probably some years. But attacking a judge, that's like 25 years probably tagged on. You just don't do something like that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he was in there for. I just know that he had other offenses, and I just know that she made some smart remark, and I guess that irritated him to the point where he needed to jump over the table and tackle her.
Yeah, no. That's a whole nother level of stuff. That's like WorldStar potential right there. Is that still a thing?
I have no idea. I never, like, obviously I would say it like WorldStar, like, everybody would.
And then you would post for him.
No, but I never had a WorldStar.
I wonder.
Is it like an account that you have? Because it was an app, right?
Was it an app?
I have no idea.
I'll look up app, but I don't think it was. It was a YouTube channel that I saw.
A YouTube channel?
Yeah, it was called WorldStar, and that's where they had a bunch of the different.
I thought it was an app.
What's
People just posted.
Oh, it said, oh yeah, WorldStar hip hop and rap news. I think you are right.
I was gonna say.
Now, I would assume it's probably died off a fair bit. Fans find evidence of Cedric the Entertainer allegedly stealing I have no idea what that is. Joke from the 1980s show Designing Woman. What? I guess it is one of those websites. Damn, and they're going to do all this. You want notifications? Hey, you want to get in a fight?
WorldStar!
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're talking about them. Dude, also these random ads that they want you to click on.
Click right here.
See, they have a fair amount on here. Like, that's 106,000, but I assume, like, their YouTube is substantially higher. Because...
I feel like people make more just compilation videos now.
Exactly. Which, I'm wondering how they get paid for that.
You think the people that make those compilation videos are getting paid?
The compilation videos?
Yeah.
No. They would have to, like, they would lose rights to that video, and then the WorldStar would get the money for it. 3 hours ago, 9.1 thousand views. No, that's the first episode. Street Talk is what it's called. That makes sense. Damn, yeah. Oh, okay. That's the other way that I know WorldStar. I've actually have heard some up-and-coming artists, they will post on WorldStar and have like these videos.
So it's not just for fight videos?
It's not looking like it. I mean, this is just mainly music. Oh, see, street fights and hood fights. But that was 10 months ago. And then I still... I mean, that's not even by them, though. Oops.
Clicked on it. Maybe they strayed away from that.
Yeah. That could be possible.
I mean, there's a lot of things that die off. Vine, WorldStar.
Smosh also would be. Do you know who they are?
I mean, I've heard you talk about them, but I've never watched them.
Smosh is, man, substantially old. And it's because the main two, Ian and Anthony, were there for I want to say like 10 years ago. It's been a long time because they were in their teenage years doing it, almost like kids. They may have been like 14, 15 when they started, and they've developed a whole different thing. They have Smosh games, they have the Try Not to Laughs, which they get a fair amount of views still on those too. I think they had a wave of like dying off and then coming back, but they put out a lot of content as well too. They're pretty interesting. They're dynamic, their style and what they do, but the adaptability again that comes down to is like, well, what do you do to change and add value to, you know, people's place? Like, how are you still going to be up there with the other ones that are doing that? Whereas in a company, it's a lot easier because you just have to sit under the umbrella and you're going to have really good workers who come in. And it's not all the time. I mean, you'll have the bad years where you're like, man, these workers are terrible. But you get a place like how our Dairy Queen was run. I mean, it was run very well during that time. But you think about the other times and it's like, well, it looks like the statistics are falling.
It was ran by the Jalitos.
Yeah, the deadly Jalitos. They will come and hurt you.
They don't even sell those anymore.
They don't?
The Jalitos? No, they got rid of them.
Are you sure?
They got rid of them when you worked there. At least our location. I don't know if every location has gotten rid of them.
Probably not. And I think because Mayfield sits under a corporate, not a non-corporate thing, so I feel like Jalitos have to be brought back. It could be the trend had fallen too, where people are like, nah, I ain't feeling the Jalitos anymore. But I feel like a fair amount would still enjoy them. I know that a lot of people who work physical labor would get the Jalitos. That's what I noticed as a trend.
Jalitos are nasty.
They're not bad. They're a bit on the spicier side.
I wasn't just talking about the spice. I just don't think they're very good.
I think they are. They're not bad at all.
That's because you were over here eating like 5 Triple Busters a day.
Yeah, there was that, but what about the times I was eating Legos?
So that's where your Legos went. They didn't get lost.
They got
you ate them.
They got digested. That would be a lot to digest. I don't think that would be a nice poop.
Why is that your thought?
Well, because I mean, you have like I had a bunch of characters, so it would just be weird bits and pieces. It's like eating corn that doesn't digest.
And a whole corn just comes out.
Yeah.
And then you eat it on the toilet.
Kind of like how we were talking earlier. Like, here's the cheat at Olive Garden. You go in there and you see how they have the dipping sauces for $4.79 just for unlimited dipping sauces. It's pretty simple. All you do is you buy that, and then you become a little bit bulimic by having to throw it up and then being like, next dipping sauce, and just keep sending in the dipping sauces.
Because I was saying how you're going to get full if you just keep eating the breadsticks and dipping them in the sauce. And he said, oh, just throw it up and then try the next sauce.
Yeah. Now, will you taste it as well? I don't know. I mean, you
probably taste a little bit of like stomach acid, but...
Might be good. Might be the secret ingredient. That's what we were going to bring up as well.
Secret ingredient. Does anybody know what the secret ingredient for the Krabby Patty formula is? Because somebody over here told me that it was crabs.
Okay, that is completely different. Nope. Nope. Well, I'll get that one pulled up. I cannot believe. Okay.
That's what you said, though.
Crabs. That's a disease. I'm talking about crab meat.
That's what I meant.
Okay, sorry. I thought you meant crabs. I was like, ma'am, what are you thinking that they're selling? This is a kids' TV show. But yet they're eating Mr. Krabs.
That's what I don't understand.
And the kids never know.
Because there is one episode where there is somebody eating like a crab, but I never thought that was the like secret formula.
Yeah. What? I wonder what's going to pull up.
Mr. Krabs. But then that means, I guess it would explain why there are no other crabs down there except for him.
What?
But there's also no...
Over the years, we've learned some of the secret ingredients: flour, barnacle shavings, salt, turmeric, chum, and of course the most important ingredient of all is love. But one final ingredient has been the center of speculation for a long time: Poseidon's powder.
Powder!
Oh, sorry. Yeah, powder. Yeah, the very first one is the Krabby Patty secret formula crab meat. Oh. There's no animal? Huh? Okay, then where did I hear? This was on one of the episodes, though, where they didn't say it because they didn't want Mr. Krabs to know. So, Steven Spielberg, don't lie to me. Oh, wait, Steven Hillenberg. Wait, Spielberg just got shot at for no reason. Sorry I took out your ear, cuz. He's got crabs now.
I was gonna say why, like that would explain why there's no other crabs, but there's also no other sponges. There's no other starfish. there's no other squirrels.
The real question is, why is a sponge in water?
Somebody left the sponge or dropped their sponge in the sea.
Wouldn't he eventually not dry out but wither away?
How would he dry out when he's underwater constantly?
That's why I said not dry out but wither away.
Why would he wither away? He's just sitting in the water.
He's too soaked in water. And sponges will decapitate themselves.
The only way a sponge withers is when you use it, but nobody's using him. He's just stuck in the bottom of the ocean.
He's moving though, and he's cooking Krabby Patties by a grill where he's getting heated. A grill underwater that's heated.
Well, didn't it just say there's no real meat in the Krabby Patty? So then is that a real grill? Does it heat up?
Huh.
I don't think the creators of this show...
rust?
I don't think the creators of this show were like thinking this hard about it.
Yeah, they were just like, they were doing dishes one day and they're like, sponge me boy. And they were just using him and then scrubbing the side. There is an episode where they actually use SpongeBob as that. It also reminds me of the perfume episode where they're like, it's one of the rooms in the Flying Dutchman. I don't know if you remember that one where they're going like through a shopping mall. It's him and Patrick, and they got pushed into that area. So they're just coughing because all the people in the mall are spraying perfumes. Do you ever have that with the perfumes people that come up to you? They're like, hey, you want to taste?
Okay, yeah, no, they don't do that. But if you walk into a perfume store, you're immediately dying. And you're like, get me out of here.
That's how you feel? Have you ever passed out?
Like in general, or because of
let's go both, but let's start with the perfumes.
No and no.
You've never passed out?
No. Is that like an accomplishment? Like, do I need to do that?
Well, actually, you just got 100 gamer score. Made it to the age of 45.
No, I've never passed out. Have you?
Yes. There was almost one time. Okay, when you get your blood drawn, I was with Mom at the time, and we were walking out of this place. Man, let me tell you, my vision got clouded, and I couldn't even see. Like, my eyes wouldn't even open. I was just walking, and she was, like, helping guide. I'm like, I can't really see right now. This is a true thing that happened.
So this is why you don't like doctors?
No. I don't like doctors because if they get more money-oriented, like Mr. Krabs, then that's what they're going to worry about. Because they worry about the stability. They want a nice little job, and then afterwards they come home to the family, do their thing. Fine. That is fine. Unless you're actually affecting those people and putting them into the hospital. Because you're giving them things that put them there. Because it's temporary fixes.
My leg.
Exactly. You get a lot of that. A lot of fish in the hospital beds. That's why I don't like hospitals. It's not the fact that them doing surgery and all of that and taking care of that. It's when you start jumping into the pharmaceutical realm. It's like, oh, what's your problem? I've been having terrible headaches. Okay, are you taking any medication? Yeah, I have 5. I'm just like, what? That probably is playing a large factor. And I know your body can do other things to go around that. It's just we like adapting our own things. Eastern tradition, bunch of foo-foo. That's how the Western region, I mean the Eastern region is the same thing.
I was going to say, we all do the same thing. We all think we're the best, and the reality of it is we're not. And if we actually put all our brains together, we'd come up with the answer.
The answer to what?
To the question, how many licks does it take to get to the center of the thing?
Wait, if we came together, that means everybody that's in Asia, I need you hitting up the lines right now. I'll tell you my number.
Is call center?
777-7777. Get me out of jail, baby.
Why are you in jail?
Well, I got one of those cards that was drawn. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect 300. I also had a heist earlier today. I was taking a pancake from IHOP.
Just a single
Yeah, a single one
pancake?
off of somebody's plate, but it was the mayor of the town.
How does that make that pancake any more special?
It's very special because it had sprinkles on top and it had like a little mayor statue on it. It looked just like him.
Who's the mayor of this town?
So it's Bill Eddy. I almost said their name very wrong. Bill Eddy.
Like, for real?
No. But you thought so. I think it's actually a woman. That's actually
Woo!
that's a good question, but we don't need to be given information about.
Oh, yeah, you don't need to know where we live.
Yeah, even though we've kind of already described where we live by a lot of factors.
I actually,
I'll pinpoint it. You know what? Here's the coordinates.
I actually dropped the Addy on our Instagram.
Yeah. Hey, yo, pull up though.
You got beef, pull up.
And then all of a sudden they do pull up. They take your Cadillac Convertible.
There's people doing that for a while. They actually probably still do it.
No, 100%. It's interesting the dynamic of it though, because like the people who actually take them, they only make like 300. People who sell them, 1,000, 2,000 plus. You have to know the right individual to sell it to, because they will grab it. It's like some shady deal. I've never done it personally, but I think it goes something like this. So you walk up, you knock on it, and you realize you're at the South Pole. So Santa opens the door. He's nice and big, and he's like, "You got the stuff?" And then he's like, "Hachu, hachu," and then he's like, "Bless you." And then
Santa's so nice.
yeah, he's nice to start off, and then he holds a gun right to your forehead. He's like, "Hey,
Have you
this
been
better."
naughty or nice?
Naughty. All right, you can come in.
All right, you get to see your passcode.
And it's like he opens up. It's like the door opens, and it's a bunch of coal that sits behind it. But then you walk through the coal. That's how it would be. I feel like if Santa's gonna be like naughty list. If you're on the nice list, you're gonna start off on like the rapids in like a tube, and you're like, oh, everything's cool and stuff. And then it's gonna drop you off into the ether, which is just space.
How is that nice?
Exactly. Because you thought naughty would be like, oh, they're getting coal and all that. But Santa almost revealed it to our kid audience. I was like, wait a minute, I probably should back up on that.
Skirt, skirt.
Okay, I'll go ahead and tell you, he rides with reindeer. I'm so sorry.
He actually has reindeer friends.
Yeah. We don't know. Do you know them all?
There's Dancer and Prancer and Comet and Vixen. I already got that wrong.
I think that's
Comet and Cupid and
Vincent.
Donner and Blitzen.
Oh, that's it. It was the Blitzen.
But the most famous one of them all
Is Santa Claus.
is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't know Rudolph. That's my man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Took him out to Benny's last night.
To Benny's.
Yeah, Benny the Bulls. He's got a chop shop.
Oh, I thought.
Dude, that'd be terrible for Benny the Bulls to chop shop.
I thought you were just saying like a knockoff version of Denny's.
It would be though. Actually, that's very fitting for
But
him.
wait, Denny's is a knockoff version of IHOP, and Benny's is a knockoff version of Denny's.
So, what's the knockoff version of Benny's?
Ben.
Ben 10's fabulous restaurant.
That's the whole name.
Yeah,
Ben 10's Fabulous Restaurant.
and it's just it's like a bunch of those people in Fallout. They're the Lamplight Village, where it's just all the little kids. Hey man, you want some eggs? And it's just like they have like the whole egg and they just give it to you. They don't cook it, so they're really.
You have to cook it yourself.
Yeah, or just eat it raw.
Ew.
Have you ever had raw eggs?
No.
Would you ever?
No.
She would.
Would probably throw up.
No, it's kind of odd. I think it does weird stuff to the brain. That's what I've noticed with it. Like when I have eaten it raw, that's what it does. Yeah.
Are you an eggnog fan?
No. I mean, I used to back.
You're
in
over
the
here
day.
eating raw eggs and you don't like eggnog. That's
Okay.
literally...
Okay. How is that the same thing?
Because there's eggs in eggnog.
Uh-huh. Okay, there's also eggs and green eggs and ham. Do you think I eat the green too?
They're green eggs and ham. Not... Why are you eating the color green?
Well, because isn't that in the eggs?
So you're eating the eggs then?
Well, or I just have the food color.
You're just downing a whole bottle of food coloring.
Yeah, this is nutritious, appetizing.
It has chemicals in it.
I wonder how, I mean, it's terrible chemicals too. I think of like the red and the blue dyes. I think it's red 40 and like yellow 2. They have a bunch of them in most of the products, like the Cheez-Its that you eat. Artificial.
There are no Cheez-Its in the pantry. There's never been any Cheez-Its in the pantry.
Okay, don't let her lie. I've seen it coming out of the vents. That's where the Cheez-Its have been coming from. They've been hidden. She's like, let me keep it top shelf, cookie jar style. And it's in the vents. It's like she don't mind a little dusty crusty up on them.
I don't mind getting sick from my Cheez-Its.
I don't think so. I think it's just a dipping sauce.
But it doesn't taste very saucy. It tastes dusty.
Dusty? You looking dusty. Oh no.
From how much dust is coming out. It's like the cinnamon challenge when you're trying to eat the powder. You're like...
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Have you ever eaten unflavored gelatin?
There's unflavored gelatin?
Yeah, like it's Jello.
Does it taste like nothing?
Yeah, just the consistency of Jello.
I mean, I don't mind Jello.
I don't think you would like the unflavored version. The reason
There's no flavor. What do you mean I wouldn't like it? I'm not tasting anything.
We can do it right now. I was thinking about it because I have it over there.
Okay.
Yeah?
Cook it up.
No, I don't need to cook it. You have to eat it raw.
Isn't that just a liquid then?
I think it's a powder. Let's find out.
I'm not eating that. That's disgusting.
She already signed up for it. Don't let her tell you otherwise.
I thought you were just talking about unflavored gelatin.
This is unflavored.
No, like actually made already.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not like powder. Of course that's going to taste awful.
No, it starts as powder. That's how Jello's made.
But I mean the Jello, like the actual Jello, just unflavored.
Yeah, you're talking about the actual full version of it.
Yeah, I'm not eating a powder.
But you know it starts as a powder, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to double check because you and chocolate apparently are not the same. You're like, no, it doesn't come from vanilla. Like vanilla ice cream to chocolate ice cream?
I know that it does. But chocolate tastes better than vanilla.
What about unflavored gelatin compared to vanilla?
10 out of 10.
You didn't choose one. You just gave a rating for, I don't know what. Maybe Star News Network, they're beating us in the ratings.
The unflavored gelatin, 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah?
Vanilla, 0 out of 10.
I don't think you would like it because I've made gelatin by itself. It does not taste well.
There's no taste. It is unflavored.
Yes.
So it's just goop.
Yes, and that's the problem.
You don't like goop.
Yes.
Oop.
Okay, poop or goop?
Goop.
Easily poop. I don't know why. Why not? I feel like that has happened like unconditionally. Like somebody was not watching their child and they were crawling up to this litter box and they started eating out of the litter box. I think this is a true thing. Let me tell you an actual true thing that I do know. I don't know if I mentioned it on here. I think I've told you before and I told somebody else today. So in Arizona, we were pulling up. We went over to one of the places, shopped it, went back to the car. Somebody comes blaring into the parking lot playing Kendrick Lamar, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Gets out the car, goes to the trunk, lifts it up, pulls a baby out by the leg. An actual baby by the leg. No car seat. And we're talking trunk. We're not talking about all the other shit. And they had a few things in the trunk. It was fairly empty, but few things that were still sitting in the trunk. 90-degree day.
Did you call the cops?
So what had happened was we did not. We were going on our delivery, but in hindsight, maybe that should have been the case with that, but that area was already questionable. Because when we went up to the storefront, first time I've ever seen a crack whore in person. And they were just standing out there and her pimp was standing right next to her. And I was like, okay, so we in these streets. So when you get cops involved, people are fucking out of there in seconds.
That baby's probably dead though.
No, it was still alive at the time. And that might have not been the first.
At the time, I'm saying now.
It might have not. But also, okay, I do get it. Calling the police, yeah. But how are you going to report? I guess...
License plate number.
Yeah, I guess the license plate. You know, in hindsight, we were not thinking of that at that time. You know, now I'm going to look like the fucking asshole, dude, that is like, yeah, I didn't do anything about it. Fuck them kids. And then they're going to clip that and be like, that's how he feels about it.
I mean, I guess you never really know how you're going to react in the moment, but don't put your babies in trunks. Ever.
Yeah,
Did you know that they used to have, like, back in the day before they, like, found out that this was unsafe and babies should be in car seats, you know how you have the back seat and then you have that little, like, area by the window?
Oh, yeah.
They used to, like, think it was safe for babies to sit up there or lay up there before the car seat was invented. And they're like, oh, yeah, this isn't safe. We should actually put them in a car seat.
Wait a minute. Let's let them roll a little bit more. What?
Yeah, it was a thing.
We're talking about, like, behind the headrest?
Yeah, that, like, little area, like, right by the window.
Was it designed for that?
There is a little dip in there, so I guess where the baby would lay.
That's
weird. But that's not going to stop if you get into a car accident. The baby's going to go flying.
Yeah. They might turn into a Tweety bird. You might be able to go cross country. I'd put it with some mama birds. Have you heard of the person who had grown up with coyotes?
What is this, Tarzan?
No, this is I forgot the name of it. I was gonna say Jimmy Neutron, but I wanted something more like
Carl Weezer.
No. I was thinking of another show. Wow, whoopsie, there we go.
It's actually Carl Weezer's Boyle.
Carl Weezer's Boyle exclusive extravaganza town. Yeah, he's weird.
TMZ exclusive.
Indeed. But yeah, it took a while for her to adapt to humans, though, because she was so accustomed to being around them all the time. I mean, she would howl, she would bite people. Like,
so literally Tarzan. In real life.
Is that what Tarzan did?
Tarzan gets, like, raised by gorillas.
No, other Tarzan.
What do you mean other Tarzan?
What does Tarzan mean?
Isn't that the character's name?
Yeah, is
in
it
the
just
Disney movie?
Is it just the name or?
I don't know. I just know he gets raised by gorillas, and so he starts to act like one until this human girl comes along. Then she falls in love with him.
Yeah, family of gorillas who matures into a young man with the instincts of a jungle animal and physical prowess of an athletic superstar. Oh. Dude, what in the world? Look at his eyes in this one. I need to get close up.
That's going to be the next canvas.
Oh, and then this one. This is like the old school. Oh, 15 Cents, A Romance of the Jungle. I don't know who this man is. This man is unrelated to anything that was created.
Well, because there's hunters that go out there. 'Cause she's a journalist. So the hunters want to, like, kill the gorillas and whatnot. And she's like, no, because she falls in love with him. And, you know, the gorilla is his family.
Yeah, it's been a long time since... I think we had the movie and the book.
Yeah, I think so.
Something along those lines.
Just like the ants go marching one by one.
Yeah, no longer the intro. Do you know what our intro is now? They do because they hear it right at the beginning.
I don't remember, but I did hear it.
It has something to do with Shrek.
Yeah. I saw somebody commented on it too.
Yeah, may have been somebody you know too.
Yeah, I know. I saw the user. I was like, oh.
Yes. We have to change it up. We had to change it up for y'all because it's necessary when we transition to different things. I'm thinking every 10 episodes we do something like that where we have that change up. Because there's a lot of music. I mean, we started off with the AI one at the outro. The AI created SpongeBob one. I actually liked hearing that at the end. It was... For some reason, it was soothing. Like, every time I was editing the videos.
Gangsters cry!
Yeah.
Somebody slayed on that song for real. Like,
yeah, it was the AI.
They went in the studio and they were like, I'm going to put out the best song I've ever put out.
Who in the studio?
Somebody...
iRobot.
No, but somebody had to make it up on their laptop or computer.
No, the computer does that.
Yeah, but they put it together to make a song.
No, they don't.
Like, they sent the lyrics into them.
It doesn't have to be like that. Okay, think about how, what's the main one that everybody talks about using? That's a program, that's AI that can create anything for you.
Why would I know that?
Because you use it all the time.
No, I don't.
She does. She has a musical career. Check her out on Musical.ly.
It's TikTok now.
No, it's Musical.ly. What is the name of that? It's the AI program that AI. I'm just gonna look that up.
But the song itself, like the lyrics, like that person made them up. So he would have had to have fed them into the AI system, put in SpongeBob.
Chat GPT. Yes, that's all you type though. Chat GPT is very simple because you can just type in SpongeBob AI version cry or something like that. And it would pop up that song. It's very simplistic because the AI works in that manner where it kind of constructs it for you. Same with like, oh, write me a 10-page essay on this subject with a few things. You have to be somewhat detailed, but not super detailed because they'll just fill in the rest for you. And they're getting better to the point where you probably won't even have to do that. They'll link it to the chips so you can just literally talk. You'll be communicating with your thoughts to it, which is kind of odd because that's really taking the essence out of somebody by doing that. So with the essence being taken, that's going to be all for the show today. Thank you all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share. We're going to have a lot more content coming out for y'all, especially this year. So expect some more out, expect some skits. We do appreciate y'all. We're getting a fair amount of views and a lot of attention on nowhere really known, just, you know, on places that we're at. We're not on the Times News or I don't even think that's a place.
I'm assuming you mean the New York Times, but...
Or the Times, that's a magazine. But, you know, your major places, we're not known on those platforms yet. So thank you for the small supporters, and thank you for the communication and everything that y'all do. So until next time, which is next week, same time, we were a little bit delayed on the last one, but that's because you could probably see the computer's a little bit different. There were some struggles, which I haven't even... Actually, no, I'll still have the laptop here, but I'll be editing on a new one. I think it comes in a few days. It's a nice one.
It was actually Bibble Nation took over. I don't know if you guys saw the end of the last podcast, but
it
was ended abruptly thanks to Bibble Nation.
There was also, you'll know that Bibble Nation's in your area, by the way, is if any Olive Gardens catch on fire, you know who did it. So keep that in mind. Just beware. If you're an Olive Garden lover, it could be a tragedy. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Quieren hacerme un cuatro porque los amalos tu chapón el uno, el tres soy yo. Cuatro letras trae el mando, Jalisco cuidando y en Guanajuato el donde ando yo. Ya pasaron las blindadas, dice un camarada, no es gobierno, va arriba el señor.